All right, so today I'm going to be putting this guy together, and then I'm gonna grab my refill tank and then fill up that 1 pound propane tank I have. These are pretty easy to put together, so they don't really come with instructions, and you really don't need them because it's pretty straightforward. This tells you this side's going to be facing the ground, but you will need to put these screws in there, or the bolts, along with the wing nuts and stuff, and these will go flush in there, so you're not going to be putting the washers on this side. And then the good thing is, because it's flat, you could literally just put all the bolts in like so, but then you're just going to need to get underneath, you know, to put them to bolt them down. So see, it goes like that. So yeah, like I said, it's pretty straightforward. Then the washer goes there. All right, so on this middle one, there is no hole on the other side, so you're not going to be able to run it through the plastic, but it just goes underneath the 2 bars, and then that's pretty much it. Kind of sucks that they use wing nuts. They should have just used regular bolts or nuts and bolts, but I guess the wing nut's kind of good. I guess you can tighten it without tools and stuff if you needed to. Let's go on top with the washers and stuff. So the washers don't go on the bottom, they go up on the top, because when you tighten this guy, you don't want to tighten the wing nut on this soft metal here, because it will start to bend it and it'll sink into it, and that's pretty much it. So just tighten them up as good as you can. That's pretty much it right there. The tank's gonna sit up top like this, up here. All right, so let me go grab my tank and let's see what's gonna happen. So that's pretty much it. You rest the tank on top of here, leave it flat, and then you get the valve facing you. This tank is pretty heavy because it is 20 pounds, because I just got it filled. What I do is just attach this guy, and because it spins there, I can keep this straight, so I don't have to worry about, you know, tightening it and then it starts to spin the valve. So you want to make sure it's lined up nice and tight. You don't need to use tools on this because it is plastic. You don't want to mess it up. And then just make sure this guy is facing down. Okay, so here's the important part that you need to know when doing this. Let me just spin this a little bit. And there's a little like plastic tab in here. I don't know if you can see that because I'm outside, but there's a little white and a little white dot and then a brass circle around it. Underneath here, let's see if I can get it. There's gonna be like a little plastic, that little black half moon adapter or whatever you want to call that. That little guy, tab or whatever, needs to line up with this. So just make sure you're lining them up, because it'll leak if you don't do that. So you just kind of tighten that guy up like so. Now you do want to use gloves on this because propane can definitely, it freezes and it can freeze your skin. So I got my gloves on. Now you're going to take your little Allen key or Allen wrench, and then you're going to put it on this little guy right here. You're going to see that there's a little screw there. You want to loosen that just enough to allow propane to escape as you're filling it up. So you're just going to crack it open just a little bit and you leave the key there. So as you're filling it, this tank can only get to 80% of its capability, because you have to, or capacity, because you're going to have to allow for gas to expand when it gets hot. And then when it stays cold, that's okay, you don't really want into that, but you want to make sure it's at 80%, which is why they have this little key here. So once it actually hits its 80% capacity, you'll start to see liquid propane spew out, and that's when you know that you're full. And I will show you how opened up the key. So now what you're going to do is you're going to open the valve to your tank, and here's where you're going to want to listen for any leaks or anything. If you had a leak by now, you'd know. So you open it all the way and stay quiet and listen. I don't hear anything. So now what we're going to do is press this down to start the flow. And it's okay to hear that hissing, because it's actually escaping, because this little guy right here is leaking, because I'm waiting to see that liquid propane shoot out. You just keep filling it until you start seeing it leak out. I can feel it right there. You can hear it and you can feel it coming out. Okay. There we go. Stop the flow and close that. You can already see it freezing up right there. I see it freezing up, so that's very cold. So now when it starts to spew out, you close this guy first. You let go of the lever, and then I need 2 hands for this. I can't show you guys exactly, but I'm just closing the valve on the main tank. Okay, everything's shut off. Now here's the part where it may come out a little bit of propane, so you want to make sure and wear gloves for this part too. And you just kind of spin this guy off. It's going to lose a little bit, but that's okay. And that's it. And just keep loosening it until it comes out. And the little smell of propane will be around, but that's because it vented out a little bit. I don't smell anything coming out of the tank. And now this guy is full. So all it's left to do now is weigh it, and let's see what we got for our yield. So I forgot to mention, the tank's already closed. I came here to loosen this guy up because I didn't think that there was a little bit of propane in this tank, or in this line. So don't get worried about it. When you start to spin this guy loose, you're going to hear some come out, but all you have to do is open the valve here, and it'll get rid of the small amount of gas that's in there. So that way, once you are ready, you just take this guy off, and you don't get a lot of propane spraying all over you. So that was all right. So I got my scale. This guy is set to pounds and ounces, so we're going to do that first. And it's 2 pounds, 4.1 ounces. I wrote up here the empty weight, which is 1 pound, 5.8 ounces. So, okay, so empty weight was 619 grams. Here we have 1.23 kilograms, or 1,023 grams. Okay, so we had 1,023 grams minus the 619, which is the tare weight of the actual tank. That gives you 404. So it just shows me that I am about 50 grams short of a full tank. And like I said before, that's okay. I don't need it to be exactly a full pound. So this video, hopefully it helps you. So if you do start to see it spew out a little bit, and then you see where it actually sprays out liquid, that's a good time to stop it. You can keep going and fill it, because it's going to just keep coming out. It's not going to, you know, fill up all the way, and then, you know, it's not going to allow you to fill it to max 100%. There's going to be a little bit that you're going to not be able to fill, so that's okay. Anyways, that was it for this video, and I hope this was helpful. And just comment down below if there's any suggestions or anything I may have forgotten for those that are watching, and I appreciate it.